Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. And it's been a while since I've come on. Just got some time to do some more of this. I'm just off with, just had surgery a week or so ago, so I'm just recovering from that. So I thought I'd take more time to come on and just see how everybody's doing and hope everybody's doing well. I just, in my travels, I spend a lot of time observing and watching what's going on in this world and how people are responding to different things in their life. And probably in the last couple months, in my travels, driving from job to job, I've seen some different things that's very heart wrenching. Uh, my son and I were going to a job one day, and the police were had this area sort of cordoned off a little bit, and I looked over, and there's a person lying on the ground. They just covered them up, and they had passed away from a drug overdose. And then probably a couple weeks later, I'm downtown and where I live, and I notice all these sirens and lights and everything, and I looked over, and there's a guy lying on the ground. They're working on him, and of course, I find out later he didn't make it either. And I just think that's somebody's son, that's somebody's daughter. Was life really that bad that you had to put yourself in that place? You know, I'm sure a lot of these people, including myself, when we started out life, we didn't, want to be in this place in our life where we were doing drugs or alcohol or whatever it was. I mean, circumstances got us there. So I often think, it's just an epidemic. In the town that I'm living in, I think 7 or 8 people die every day from drug overdoses. And I think, what's the cause of all this? What can I do to make a difference? I know that I can't save the world, but I can make a difference. And what that difference looks like, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I just sit and I think, and it just breaks my heart that, like I said, that was somebody's daughter or somebody's son. Or I see these people walking around and their bodies are just mangled. They're talking to themselves, and, they got sores all over their bodies. And they just started out being a little boy and a little girl who just wanted to be loved and understood. But somewhere along the line, they made some choices that determine their walk in life. And I know a lot of us are going through that right now in our own lives. We've made some choices that we're not happy with, and we're not happy with ourselves. Over the years, I've crossed the path with a lot of young people. And then even in my own life, how I felt about myself determined how I treated myself. We don't come into this world expecting that people in our life are going to treat us badly. They're supposed to love and protect us. And what I mean is our parents, aunts, uncles, whoever. Children are supposed to be loved and nourished and protected and guided and directed and shown the right way to go. That's our responsibility as parents. That's our responsibility as aunts and uncles. Doesn't mean we can save the world. That's our responsibility as a human being. And I think somewhere over the years, we just lost that. Everybody's just so consumed with their own stuff that they forget about their neighbor, their co-worker, or that whatever police officer, firefighter, whatever. We just seem to just go through life just sometimes thinking about ourselves and our own garbage, that we forget about that next person that's beside us, or our neighbor or a co-worker, because we're so wrapped up in our dirty way of thinking and our not very meaningful life, the way we're living. So somewhere we just lost that. We lost that compassion for our fellow man and looking out for their best interest. I mean, I wasn't taught all that stuff. You know, my generation, we just learned to try to look out for each other. At least in my generation, we had some guidance, but and direction. Now, as I talk to young people, it's like they don't even know who they are. They have no purpose, no meaning. A lot of us adults don't have that. So what happened? What made us get to this point in our life? You know, where we think we need to do drugs and we need to do alcohol in order to survive, in order to make decisions that we are supposed to be taught how to make in a healthy way. But because, you know, a lot of our parents were dealing with their own stuff. My parents' generation, they didn't deal with anything. You know, there's every day I'm surprised at the secrets that some families have taken to the grave because they don't know how to deal with them. Some things just weren't talked about. They were a no-no. You're not supposed to talk about those things. Like sexual abuse, incest, all kinds of stuff. Family violence. You know, we think we known somebody for 50 years and then we get talking to them and you stay at their house as a kid and everything seems to be fine. But then you find out it wasn't. They had a horrible life. You know, so it's just a vicious circle. And I think to myself, you know, Lord, when is it going to end? I just feel so bad for these young people. I mean, they're getting so brainwashed. I mean, it's bad enough trying to make decisions as a kid, dealing with the things that they got to deal with, the pressures of life. And now they're getting all this other stuff thrown in their faces. So I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be a kid. I said to my son's girlfriend's son, he's a teenager, the other day, I said, you know, you be careful with those drugs. You don't know what's in those drugs. Kids are dropping dead all over the place. Even marijuana laced with crap and they end up dying. And they're walking around wondering where they're going or who they are. I mean, I thought my generation was bad. This generation is totally lost. Because nobody takes the time to encourage them and to point them in the right direction and let them know the things that are important and give them some guidance. Who cares about all this crap that they're teaching the kids? It's not important. Teach a boy to be a man, what it means to be a man. Teach a girl what it means to be a woman. That's all that matters. You know, but when you got all this other stuff that they're being taught, man, no wonder they're confused. No wonder they're committing suicide. Just so much to deal with for everybody, not just the kids, but for us adults. Some of us are at that point in time in our life where we got to deal with our parents that are sick. And we want to take care of them, but it's a lot of work. I mean, I dealt with that in my own life with my wife's mother. It's not easy to see your parents once have a mind and now they don't have a mind anymore. And it's so heart-wrenching to see this stuff. See that person you once knew who they were and now they don't have a clue. So there's so much stuff we got to deal with. But somehow we got to find the courage and the strength to get through it. And how do we do that? Help one another, encourage one another. You know, we can't change the world. You know, we can only do what we can do. And encouraging one another and lifting each other up in prayer and whatever it is that they need, we need to do that. Let people know that they're struggling, that they are loved and understood. See, that's the biggest thing. People want to be heard. They want to be understood. Even though a lot of times people get tired of hearing the same thing over and over again. But we got to remember to extend God's grace, the grace that He extended me all these years for my foolishness and the way I thought and the decisions I made. But He was gracious and merciful to be patient with me and walk with me. So, you know, we need to do that for one another and not beat each other up. You know, I think that's the biggest downfall of the church today, is that we're supposed to carry one another's burdens. You know, carrying one another's burden doesn't mean that we lie awake at night worrying about it. It just means that we're to comfort and guide one another and be there for each other and walk with them and reassure them that they're loved and that we're praying for them or whatever it is that they need. That's carrying one another's burdens. You know, I'm reminded of that song by the Hollies. You know, it goes, "He ain't heavy, he's my brother." You know, whatever he's struggling with, it's not a heavy load for me. I just want to be there for him and encourage him. And that's all we can do. You know, that's why I do what I do. And I know I say this over and over again on my messages that I have. But it's important to me that you and everybody around me knows that I care, because I need it in my own life. Even now I need it. I have my own struggles too. I'm getting older, my body's taking a beating. I can't do everything that I used to do. And that bothers me. And it's probably harder for men because men are so prideful. We can't accept the fact that we can't do the things we used to be able to do. But it doesn't mean we lie down and just say, oh, well, that's life. We just keep going. Press on. Everybody's going to have a different season in their life, and I'm in a new season in my life, and I have to learn how to accept it. Yeah, do I get frustrated? Lots of times I get frustrated. But I have to just keep going on and ask God for strength and guidance to get me through this. Because without that, we have nothing. But we need to learn to encourage one another. Oh man, there's so many people out there hurting that think nobody cares. And we think that we can't do anything. We're not capable of doing anything. It's not our calling, but it is. All we got to do is just pick up the phone and say, hey, Larry or Linda or whoever it is, it's Randy. I just want to let you know that I care. You don't need to say anything else. And I don't know how many times in my life where that's made a difference. There have been times when I've been so down and I could feel the presence of God. I could feel that people are praying for me that very moment. And it's give me the strength to go on with the stuff that I was dealing with in my life. So, I look around me. There's not much I can do for these people that are killing themselves in the drugs and the alcohol. But I can try to encourage them, try to show them God's love and that somebody does care. Because Lord knows I needed it so many times in my life, and I still need it. That reassurance that I am somebody and that I am loved. And I know now, without a shadow of a doubt, that there's nothing that any of us can do that's going to change that person to a point. But I also believe that there may be one word that you say or one action that you do that may change that person's life forever. That's why I do what I do. Because there have been people in my life that have said things to me and it's stuck in my head and my heart. And in those moments where I felt like giving up, I heard their voice. And it made a difference in my life. There have been times where I thought, Lord, why do I do what I do? Why do I give myself? Why do I do what I do when it comes to people? And I just feel like, you know what? I'm just going to think of myself. Nobody cares about me, so why should I bother? Why should I be the best friend I can be when my friends just crap on me, they walk away from me after 50 years of friendship? Why should I bother? Where's it gotten me? But it's not about me. It's about the other person. So I have this person come up to me and say, I just want you to know that I want you to keep loving, do what you do. Because it made a difference in my life. When I talk to you and I hear your story and what you've gone through, there were times when I just wanted to give up. And you gave me hope because you went through the similar things. So God just wanted me to tell you that just keep loving because it's made a difference in my life. And then I go to the next job and this woman comes up and her mother's always been difficult. I haven't been able to deal with her because for some reason she just doesn't like me. And she kind of reminds me of my mother. So, please forgive me for saying that. So I don't know how to deal with her. So I just avoid her. Well, I got in touch with her daughter and I said, there's some things that need to be done around her place and I don't mind doing them. I'll do whatever I can to help. So I started doing a job and her mother come out and started screaming at me. And so I just grabbed my equipment and I left. I said, if you're going to be like this, then I'm not doing any stuff for you anymore. I don't need to be treated like this. And it's okay to stick up for yourself. So her daughter came to me one day with a box of donuts and said, Randy, I just want you to know that I appreciate it. Everybody appreciates everything you do here. And I know my mother's been difficult and I know you've tried to do whatever you can for her. I just want you to know I appreciate it. And that was the second person in the same day when I was just ready to give up and stop being who God wants me to be, who God made me to be. So, I had to stop and think, well, thank you, Lord, because I'm just ready to give up. I'm tired of this. So I know that I need to keep doing what I'm doing. As hard as it may be, how draining it may be at times, I need to keep doing these things. I've been wanting to go back to school for 45 years or more, but I've never had the courage. I didn't think I was good enough. I wasn't smart enough that I wouldn't be able to do it. Well, here I am in my 60s. I'm going back to school in January. Yeah, am I scared? I'm a little bit scared, but you know what? I know I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to get it done. And I know I'm going to be good at it. What am I going to be doing? I'm going to be going in for an addiction counselor. Something that I love doing it. Trying to encourage people with addictions. I thought I would never go back to school, and here I am at my age. So if I can do it, you can do it. Because it's never too late. You know, I believed at a young age I had a calling on my life. And like I shared before, I had a father who did, and he didn't do anything with it. Because he had so much stuff to deal with that he didn't want to deal with. So I'm really excited that God's given me this opportunity. I know he's going to give me the wisdom and the guidance to get through this and pass the course and do what I have to do. Yeah, am I scared? Yeah, I'm a little bit scared. It's been a while since I've been in school, but I know I'm going to do okay. Why? Because I've got the wisdom. I've got the knowledge and the stuff that I've been through in my life to help me. So a lot of the things that I've gone through in my life, it's not a waste. There's a reason why I went through the things I did. And that reason is so that I have a better understanding of what people are going through. I have a compassion. They can talk to me and I can relate. There's nothing anybody that says to me that either I haven't been through it or known somebody who has. So it hasn't been a waste. My journey's been my journey. You know, some of it, it's because of the choices I made. And so I just thought I would come on this morning and try to encourage you. Just let you know that there is hope. I should probably go now because my phone's just about ready to die, but I hope everybody's doing okay. And I'll try to come online and encourage you more often now that I'm off. Just God bless you, and may you feel God's presence in your life today, and may you feel his loving arms around you. Take care.